Reading books and collecting books are two different hobbies, and most of us can only afford one of them. It's just the truth, and the truth might set you free, but it also will hurt in the process. You've probably seen a YouTuber or TikToker do a crazy book haul, and then months later they showcase their even crazier physical unread TBR. Bruh. And I'm not gonna condemn them, because guess what? I want that. And I know you want that too. That type of financial freedom that you can just buy whatever you want, build your home library for your kids, maybe even have one of those rolling ladders. Like, I see it. I see the beauty of it. I just see the beast that's right behind it. It costs money, but you don't got it. Say it costs money, but you don't got it. Everything costs money, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. But you know what else I hate? Wasting that money, because then I'm just making a cycle, and it sucks. So that's why I'm trying to stop myself before it gets too far. And maybe, just maybe, you should too. Now listen, I'm not here to admonish your spending habits, because first off, you either got a parent or some finance bro on YouTube that's gonna do that for me. Second off, I know capitalism be capitalisming. And three, it ain't my damn business. How you spend your money is how you spend it, okay? So buy those books. But I'm gonna go through my physical TBR and why it's stressing me out, give you my game plan, and maybe, just maybe, the tips I give you are gonna help you out, okay? Okay. Do you like my new hair? Right? Doesn't it eat down? Like, I just got it done today. Can you tell that they're fresh? Probably. Now y'all, I actually did my homework. I have 20 books on my physical TBR, 3 are duologies, 4 are standalones, and the rest of them are all the first book of a series of sorts. Now I know 20 books is not a lot, like it's nothing compared to some other people, but as I said before, this is not a competition, and second, it's enough to stress me out. Oh shoot. It's already a lot. Here we go. These are my books. For the books that are stained, consider them sprayed. Alright, don't complain. It don't hurt my feelings. Like I said, I have 3 duologies that need to be read, so let's start with those. First one is this one, The Villain's Duology by V.E. Schwab. So I read The Conjuring of Magic. Now that's actually one of the series that I never finished. I DNF'd the 3rd book like halfway through, and unfortunately it was because it was very long-winded. I couldn't. But I do remember the 1st book. I loved it so much, and I knew that V.E. Schwab was a good writer. And this is 2 books, and they're normally sized, I would say. So I wanted to give these a try. And when I got the special edition, it came with a poster. I haven't put it up yet because I don't know anything about the book. Let's look at it. This will be such a prize when I'm finally able to put this up. Oh God, I'm so happy I waited to. Oh, this is so beautiful. Look at this. Maybe we are broken, but we put ourselves back together. We survived. That's what makes us powerful. So powerful. Oh my gosh. Wow. This is exciting. This is so cute. It matches the chair. Kind of matches my nails. I like it. I don't normally read the back of books, so I don't really know much about this. All I read is that they're college roommates. Don't need to know anything else, okay? The next 2 duologies are from the same author. She's someone who I've considered to be one of my favorite authors, and I bought all of her books that I could find. So let's see. These 4, you can already read the name of one of them. For that one, it's Sky Hunter and Steel Striker. Sky Hunter's been scratched up by my cat. Yes, I love Pamela with all my heart, but she ruins things. But you know what? Clearly, so do I. So it's fine. Then we have Steel Striker. Okay, so Gio's already read this series. He said I would really enjoy it. It's very dystopian, maybe a little bit of fantasy in it as well. Just from the back, it mentions a terrifying army of mutant beasts known as ghosts. So that tells me it's a little bit fantastical, right? And it's also just 2 books, so that's something I can finish. The reason why I didn't read this one, just because I had already read 6 books of Marie Lu back to back. Love her. Love Legend series. Read all of them. And I read all of the Young Elites. I just needed to, get a break, try someone else, right? And then I never went back. Then I have the other 2 books here, which are Warcross and Wildcard. I'm pretty sure Warcross is the first one. Yeah, it is. And I believe this one's also another one of those, you can call it science fiction-y, dystopian. You know what this kind of reminds me of? It reminds me of that movie, not Double Dog Dare, but Nerve. So reading the back of this, it reminds me of Nerve. It's about a teen hacker. She's a bounty hunter, and she's supposed to. Warcross is apparently a game that people play, but a lot of people bet illegally. And then when she's trying to hack into it, things go awry, of course, and the rest goes on from there. I should probably read these first because I have all of it. And that's what I was going to say. If you have an unread physical TBR, if you have all the books of a series, or if you have a duology, that's something you can read. But if you're not feeling up to that task, if you've been reading back-to-back series, the next thing I would probably say is to read a standalone. And I got 4 of those. Of my standalones, 2 of them I bought over 2 years ago, like maybe even 3-4 years ago, and then the other 2 I got recently, right? For the recent one, we have Hotel Magnifique. This one is one that I actually picked up in this video if you want to watch it. And basically, this is about a hotel that kind of just pops up out of nowhere. And I was like, that sounds amazing. I started reading like the first like 2 pages at one point, and I was like, I don't want to get into it right away, just because it felt a little bit like childish at first, the writing, and I don't really know why. I read 2 pages and I was like, you know what, I might not be in the mood for this right now. I don't want to like diminish it, so I'm going to read it another time. But basically the Hotel Magnifique just pops up into a different destination like every morning, and our main character, I think, wants to work as part of the staff. And that sounds freaking sick. I love travel, I love all things fantasy. I don't see why I wouldn't like this book. The next one is The Starless Sea. This one is by Erin Morgenstern. She actually wrote The Night Circus, which I also got in that video. My friend actually bought those 2 books for me. And unfortunately, I'm not sure where my Night Circus copy is. We might have lost it while we were moving. I'm gonna keep looking for it, and if I can't find it, I'm gonna be really sad. And I'll either buy it again, or I'll maybe find it like I found this one, which was in a little library. I literally just walked into the Starbucks and it was there. And I was like, oh, you're coming out with me. I literally picked up a girl at a bar. Yeah, the girl was Erin Morgenstern's book, and the bar was Starbucks, so. You want to get more books, but maybe you can't afford it, maybe you don't got the coin, it never hurts to look at a little free library if you have one around you, okay? It doesn't hurt. All right, the other 2 standalone books, they are Clash of Steel and Infinity Sun. Infinity Sun is by the same man, Adam Silvera. He's who did They Both Die at the End, and I really did enjoy that book. Of course, I subbed. And Infinity Sun, I picked it up right after reading They Both Die at the End. I was like, oh, like I'll probably like this. And like the thing is, like, who will live forever and who will die trying, right? But I look at Goodreads now, years later, and I see that it's rated 3.30. Hello? That by Goodreads standards, that's not a good rating. I don't want to base everything off of other people's opinions, because obviously there are some people that rate this 5-star. I don't see myself starting this anytime soon, but who knows? I might be in the mood for a standalone type of love story. It's LGBT, which is amazing. I'm just not too sure if I'll be reading it yet. Now, Clash of Steel, I actually might have just bought this because it's pretty. I mean, how can you not? Like, this is so gorgeous. This is gorgeous. This is like part of the whole book collecting thing when they buy books that are pretty. I might have bought this because it was just pretty. But the author is C.B. Lee. She is a Chinese, Vietnamese, American author. And it seems like this book is taking place in South China Sea in China. And for that reason alone, I feel like it's a good reason to read it, just because I should be reading more books from people of different cultures. I think it would be great to see. And because it's a remix, like, I can see how she's taken the story and developed it to her own. And honestly, it might be even better that I don't really know much about Treasure Island, because then I can like take this book for what it is and not try to compare it to something else. It's got this beautiful map in here, absolutely gorgeous. Inside is blue, in case you're wondering. Yeah. Now, I've shown you 10 out of 20 books. Half of the books that I have are the first book in a series, and majority of them I didn't know until I was researching and typing everything up for this video. How is it possible that I bought so many books that I don't even have the rest of them? Come on. All of these? Are you serious? Are you serious? A lot of these books, I just bought them because I liked them. I didn't know that they were part of a series. And for me, a series is a whole commitment. Okay? But my plan for this, and this might help you too, and this is just a general tip if you don't want to spend as much money, is to use the library. Oh my gosh. Isn't that crazy? You could just use the library. Library cards are free. You can use Libby. That's free. You can get all these books online, and yes, do you have to wait? Yeah, but you know what? Patience is a virtue. Waiting is good. Your time is money, but my money is also money, and I want to keep that. So I don't mind waiting a little bit for these books. So for the next couple books that I'm going to show you, yes, they are a commitment, but maybe one day I will buy the second book. Sometimes I also just read the rest of the book online. Sometimes I don't even have to keep the rest of the books and have to buy them. I just get them from the library. That is like the main thing, that if you're on a book buying ban, if you're on a budget, you should use the library. Generally, I've been using mine now. I'm very happy with it. I've got a video about me reading romance books from the library, because like I personally am not someone who reads a lot of romance. So like not being super committal and spending $20 on a book and just being able to walk into my library and grab one, that sounds pretty good to me, okay? Now let's get into these singles. Let's do a quick fire, okay? These 3 books, they all give off the same vibes. I have no clue what they're about. None. Zero. Zilch. I got these probably 4 years ago. That is Onyx and Ivory, Frostblood, and Wicked Saints. They all seem very like wintry fantasies, like they're very snowy. It seems like I know these 2 definitely have to deal with snow, and I can just assume that this one does too. Onyx and Ivory is book 1 of 2 of Rhyme Chronicles. Just from the way it sounds like an enemies to lovers. It's definitely fantasy, and it sounds pretty sick. Okay. Ooh, she's got magic in here. Oh my god, there's so much that I just found out. Definitely enemies to lovers. So I do want to read this. It sounds interesting. I just don't have the second book. We have this one, The Reign of Ice Must End, Frostblood. The second book is Fiery Blood. Oh my god. I need to stop reading the back of books. It's really stressing me out because I just need to read like the first sentence and that's it. So basically it seems like there are 2 types of people in this, Frostbloods and Firebloods. And our main character is in the Frostblood realm, but she's a Fireblood. Lord knows what can happen there. We have Wicked Saints, Let Them Fear Her by Emily A. Duncan. This is book 1 of a 3-book series. The way it's saying it sounds like it's going to be like different POVs. I'm not too sure. Maybe we just follow 3 different people, but it's a girl, a prince, and a boy. And it's a snow-frosted, blood-drenched fairy tale, okay? Another fairy tale. Next up, we have Half-Blood. I actually ended up getting this book while I was in New York City, and it was because we did a little bit of a book swap. I bought a book for a friend and a book for me. Okay, so you can watch that if you want. I love that vlog. Please do. We went to so many bookstores in that vlog. It was really fun. And from what I gathered of this book, this is a part of a 3-book series, I'm pretty sure. The author is it 3 books? Let me not get that wrong. Never mind. This is book 1 of a 5-book series. Crazy, and I'm pretty sure there's some novellas in it. So Jennifer L. Armentrout, she's also the author who wrote From Blood and Ash, and that's a really big series on TikTok. It's super huge with the fantasy community. I think it's also got like some romance, and I think it's a bit spicy. I don't think that this one is that spicy, but I wouldn't be able to tell you otherwise if it's not, because I haven't read it yet. I love Edges. I do want to read this one. It's unfortunate that it's like has so many books following after it, because that's one thing that I am worried about. Like I said before, like just having a book that has so many things that come after it would compel me to want to buy the rest of it. But there are also a lot of book series that I have started with like the first book physical copy. Maybe I didn't finish it, or sometimes I've read the rest of it by going online and getting the book from there. So we'll see. The next book I got actually is part of a series, but it hasn't been released yet. I got this again when I was in New York City, and the reason why I bought it was just the way this girl was describing it. I was literally snooping. I was like, oh, that sounds good. Like, keep talking. You know what I'm saying? And basically she said that it was like, imagine Harry Potter, but these people are murderers and they're studying about homicidal arts, all this stuff. There's a strange campus. It just sounded like such fun vibes, and I think I would actually read this because of the fact that the other books aren't out yet. It's not that like daunting. It's not like I'm having a 5-book commitment yet, and it sounds good. Okay, it sounds pretty good to me from someone who is a little nervous about all the murder. Hopefully it's not too gruesome. Now this next book, this is what I want to read. I do not care that I don't have the second one. I don't care that I don't got the third one. This is Defy the Night. Once again, my cat ruins everything for me, right? Yeah. So I want to read this book. This is a fantasy book. Everyone says it's amazing. Do I know what it's about? No, I don't care. The way that people talk about this with such fervor, and it's like one of those like underrated ones, like when you find someone talk about it, they like really love it. I want to read it. And guess what? I saw it at my library. And I was like, oh, if this is at the library, maybe the second book is at the library. Maybe I should read this book. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I get the library copy and you and I read it together. Maybe I do a buddy read with someone else. I don't know, okay? But I want to read it. So it might be one of the first books I pick up. I can't even lie to you. Now the next book I bought like 2 weeks ago. I've been thinking that I'm on a book buying ban, but clearly I'm just not. I'm trying really hard not to buy that many books, of course, but I had to. Every time I've seen this book, I wanted it, and then I thought they eventually will stop selling the version with the sprayed edges one day, and that will stress me out. So I want it, And you know what they say, I want it, I got it. This is, from what I've heard other people say, it's very similar to Six of Crows. It lives up on its own, but it's very much like a high sort of thing. Just like Murder Your Employer, Five Broken Blades is a part of a series that hasn't even come out yet. But I mean, look at this. Look at this. Let the best liar win. Okay. Oh. My God. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. It's gorgina. Wow. Okay, I know I was complaining about people book collecting, but I understand the feeling of buying a book just because it's really pretty. And this is one of them. And you know what? Sometimes that's okay. I bought this book. There's another book out there that's just Heavenbreaker, and it's also very pretty. It has these beautiful sprayed edges. I'll show you the video right now. And I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it because I haven't heard anyone talking about it. I didn't think I was going to be too interested in the story. But with this one, despite the fact that I probably technically shouldn't have really bought it, I should be saving money, I know I want to read this book. I know I'm going to read this book, and I know it's also very beautiful. And for that alone, that was enough of a reason for me to buy it. And that doesn't mean that I'm going to buy every single beautiful book I see, but that does mean that if I have an interest and it's beautiful, and I don't think it's going to be around for that much longer, or it was on sale like this one was because it was at Target, it gave me a good reason to buy it. You don't have to always save your money. I'm not saying you need to save your money all the time. I'm just saying it's a good idea, okay? Now I had said that I had book one of all these series. I don't. I lied. Yeah, one of these books is book 2 of a series. I don't know how I did that. I don't know how I bought book 2 when the first book is literally on the back of it. I bought this, I think, 3 years ago, and I just haven't read it yet. And thank gosh, because I'm not supposed to read it yet. There's a whole other book that's supposed to come before this. So, there's a chance I might try to look for the book in a library. I might get the EPUB of it. I might find it on Libby, something like that, and read it. And if I'm not in love with it, guess where this book is going to go? It's going to be donated. Hola, mommy. There's a chance I might donate this book if I read the first book and I don't like it. And that's if I ever get to read the first book. And you know what? There's no shame in donating your books. I might also do that with this. Because guess what? You're giving someone else the opportunity to read a book and fall in love with it. And tiny little libraries need good books. Okay? If you want to donate it to your actual library, they need good books too. If you have a book that is maybe a really popular one, but you found yourself not liking it, or you don't want to finish it, you can also just sell that and make back some money. No shame in the game. This next book is the biggest book in my TBR. It has the most amount of pages. It's also probably the biggest book that I have in my entire bookshelf. And that is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. The Cassandra Clare, okay? I read all of Mortal Instruments. All of it. So I bought this book and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get into it. I think I read up to chapter 5 and my brain was falling apart. Because I don't know if her writing leveled up. I don't know what happened. I read it also a couple years away from when I had finished the Shadowhunter series. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. I have no clue who these people are. I was very confused. Does that mean that me reading it now would be any better? I don't know, right? And I never even read The Clockwork, The Infernal Devices or anything, so that's another thing that I want to read one day. But this is book 1 of 3 in the Dark Artifices, so I'm pretty sure it's The Infernal Devices, then it's Mortal Instruments, then it's this set of the Dark Artifices, then it's the Golden Hours, the last ones, and then it's another set of 2 books. This realm is never ending. That doesn't make it bad. I could probably read this book and understand it even if I hadn't read Mortal Instruments. Just like how I read Mortal Instruments without reading The Infernal Devices. I just think that this is pretty big of a commitment. And it's probably something I would start when I'm less fearful of it. So that was book 19. I have actually 3 other books to tell you. These are my honorable mentions. But the main one that I consider number 20 is Zero. Jujutsu Kaisen. As you can tell from the other books that I have, I don't have a lot of manga. This is the only manga that I own. And look at what my cat did to it. Again, Pamela could be great in Fahrenheit 451. She clearly despises books, right? But I got this book because a lot of my friends liked it, and I was like, oh, my friends like manga. I watched some of the show. I just never picked it up. There's no reason. I just didn't pick it up. Maybe I should, because it shouldn't be too difficult to read and to understand. And it would be my first time ever reading a manga. Like, the fact that my little sister, who is 11 years old right now, has read more manga than me. And that's because I bought it for her. Like, I can at least read one with a story that I actually enjoy, you know? Now, the next two are my real honorable mentions. So we'll go with the small one, and that is Animal Farm. It's not really supposed to be like an honorable mention. It is a book that I bought that I haven't read yet. Another Fallen Victim. I've read 1984 by George Orwell, and I loved it. I read it for class. It's like one of the main books that I've read in my time in school that really stuck with me. And Gio is the one who read Animal Farm, and he didn't read 1984, so I thought it'd be good for me to read Animal Farm because he's read it and he liked it. And it's a small book. I should read this. I should read this one day. I should take this with me on a little road trip and read it. It probably has commentary on the world, on capitalism, all that good stuff. The last of my book is Érase una vez una corazón roto. I've already read Once Upon a Broken Heart. I wanted this cover first and foremost. The second I read Once Upon a Broken Heart, I felt very book collectory. I wanted to buy the beautiful covers, and I didn't. I didn't buy any of the books. I got the first book, I think, on sale, and I was like, okay, like, I'll have it, but it's not the cover that I wanted. So when I figured I should read a book in Spanish, get better at my Spanish grammar, at my reading comprehension in Spanish, I decided to get a book that I really enjoyed, the one that got me back into reading, and just have it be in Spanish. I haven't read it yet. I do want to. I want to do it for a video. I think it'd be amazing. I just think it'd be so fun to read a book in my second language and then eventually read a book in my third language. And I just want to continue doing that. And I think it's best for me to read a book that I've already read so that I don't necessarily have to read side by side or have a translation, because I know what the story is about. Like, I know Evangeline, I know Jax. Yeah. With all of these books, who knows which one I'm going to pick next, right? Especially because I've been going to the library more. I have no clue what I want to read next. I have an idea of which one I'm going to start. I'm currently in the middle of a library book, so I'm not going to necessarily start any of these like today. If I were to say which of these books I would read next, it would be this collection of books. So, 5 Broken Blades, Defy the Night, Marie Employee, Mary Lou's, Warcross, Un Corazón Roto, and Vicious. These are the books I would like to read next, most likely. But who knows? I might pick any of these ones. So that was my TBR. To some, it's not that crazy, and to others, it's like, girl, you need to stop buying so many books. So, yeah. All in all, I just want to say, like, I'm not the person to comment on, like, overconsumption of books or anything like that. I've just been watching some videos, so I figured that's something important to highlight when showcasing my own personal TBR and my reasonings for why I don't want to keep buying so many books. But I love reading. I want to keep reading. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. And just having these little rules in place it's not only just to make sure that I'm not wasting, like, my money, but it's to give these books a chance, because I bought them for a reason. They intrigue me for a reason, and they deserve to be read. And if not, then they're going to be donated for someone else to read, because every author deserves a chance for their words to be heard by someone else, you know? Hopefully in another video you'll see me actually reading these books. You never know. But for now, I have a bunch of other videos that you can watch. Hopefully you enjoy it. If you enjoyed, you're done with me. If you didn't, don't tell me anything. It'll make me feel bad, okay? So, I bid you adieu, au revoir, adios, and aloha. Bye. Did you see that? I kissed my palm. That was disgusting. That was really, like, who does that?